just going to start off with Vikings Steelers today.
Oh, God.
No one cares.
Two mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Both those teams could make the playoffs. That's what's the joke.
Yeah.
They don't belong in the playoffs. They're such
stinks. We know the deal with Cousins.
The parity.
Even though I respect Cousins, I think that he's.
Well, he's your cousin.
No, I think he's a good quarterback. I don't like him personally, but I like him as a quarterback. I think he's good.
Do you know him personally?
I don't like. Considering the things he does, I don't like him personally.
There's always a bunch of these kind of games, and I don't find either of those teams at all interesting.
Well, it's a Thursday night game. You can't expect it to be good.
Well, some of their Thursday night games have been terrific. But I will say there are two big games this week, and one of them is Rams-Cardinals. The other big game this week, Bills-Bucks. Both those are huge. The Rams.
If Bills lose, they're done.
If the Bills lose that game, they may not make the playoffs.
No,
this is a critical game for them.
They're only
5
losses.
They're only 7-5.
I know.
They could go to 7-6.
And you put them on the tier above the Chargers.
I did.
And the Bengals. And now they're the exact same record.
Are you talking bagels?
I'm talking bagels.
Okay. I also think if the Rams lose, they may still make the playoffs, but they're not going anywhere.
No.
The Rams need this win.
They stink, yeah.
As do the Bills. We're going to talk more about that as we get into our NFL show, but those are the games this week. Steelers,
now,
Vikings, really?
Who are you picking in Steelers-Vikings?
Who are you picking?
I'm going Vikings.
Who's favored? Is it in Minnesota?
It is in Minnesota, I believe.
Because that was a critical part of my
selection.
selection.
It's in Minnesota.
Okay, I will go Vikings.
I'm going Vikings.
I think Vikings are the better team.
Me too. All right,
okay.
Let's go college basketball.
Okay. You want college basketball, do you?
We're going college.
Well.
How about let's start
with Purdue?
Going women's first.
Oh.
Paige Buckets is a
boy, what? That's a heartbreak.
Turn the page on Paige, baby.
You know, that's like Steph going down. This didn't used to be the way UConn was. UConn used to every year get like the best 3 college women players in the country to go as freshmen, and then they'd have their sophomores and juniors and seniors and so forth. They had so many good players, they could lose somebody and they'd still be the best team by quite a bit. It's not like that anymore. There's so much more competitive teams in college women's basketball now.
Yeah.
And Paige led that team in almost every single category.
Yeah, she's out 6 to 8 weeks, and this is terrible for the Huskies. And
also,
Fudd out too today?
Fudd is kind of week to week.
Yeah.
I think she's got a foot injury. But Fudd really doesn't replace Beckers. No, Fudd doesn't stink. But Fudd doesn't replace Beckers anyway. They do have other people, but she's their best shooter. I think she's their assist leader. Yes. She's their best passer. She's where the confidence. Like they can't take her out.
If they have Beckers out, who is going to step in that role? They don't have.
They don't have somebody to step into.
Yeah, they don't have enough depth.
She's too dominant. It's not even depth. They've got players that are good players, but she is so outstanding.
She's so good. They don't have any depth to replace her.
Yeah, it's like LeBron goes out of the Lakers, Steph goes out on the Warriors.
Yeah,
you can't replace that player.
It's an irreplaceable position.
So, and then 6 to 8 weeks, they're not at the playoffs. But how is she going
to come back?
Yes.
How is everything? Will they have a chemistry still?
And also just physically, because she plays every minute of every game.
Yeah.
She probably won't be able to do that coming back from an injury, being out for almost 2 months.
But
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Beckers is just so important to this team. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Well, and also I think to the whole women's sport, because she got so popular last year. The people that are watching women's college basketball, and it's a fun sport to watch, but a lot of it is stars like Paige.
You know, I showed you Paige back there.
Indeed. Anyway, so it's kind of a real heartbreak situation. Hopefully she gets back,
We really
gets
hope
healthy
she
quickly,
does. Get well better, Paige.
and can still have an impact on this
Yeah,
year. That's
absolutely.
what you got to hope.
That's exactly what I'm.
Let's move on to the men.
All right.
What's your feeling about Purdue?
My feeling about Purdue. Purdue stinks. No.
That is ridiculous.
No, of course.
Purdue is number 1. They're
course
undefeated right now.
Of course, I'm not saying that.
You just said it.
No, that was just a joke. Okay. Purdue. Here's my opinion. I think Purdue has a bunch of all-around players. They have a lot of players that are good. Just solid
They've
guys.
got balance. They do
have
have balance. They also shoot very well.
Yes, they do. But Zach Edey, other than being tall, stinks. I don't know why everyone gives him
isn't
so
he
much
on Baylor?
credit. Zach Edey?
Is he?
What are you talking about?
Does Baylor have their big guy named Eddie?
What are you talking about?
Is Eddie on Purdue?
No. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry for that little error.
Oh my god.
However, I don't think he's the key to that team is Jaden Ivey.
I know Ivy's great. He has NBA
Ivy,
skills, lottery pick for sure, 6'4" guard.
Yep, he's a standout. Eddie is just a big guy.
Yeah.
Isn't he a 7-footer?
Over 7 feet.
7'2" or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But he's kind of like the big guys used to be before they got.
Yeah, but Purdue also they beat NC. They beat.
They have 2
North
good wins.
Carolina and Nova.
Yeah, 2 good wins on their.
Didn't they also?
Their
Oh
schedule.
no.
Now Baylor, number 2. I know they won the national
They beat
title last
Michigan
year.
State.
They beat Michigan State,
who's
but
number
Michigan
19.
State, they're not like a top 5. It's not like that's a great win on your schedule.
Okay, well.
I mean, it's the best win they've got. Their other wins are pretty much against nobody.
They're undefeated though.
They're undefeated, but Michigan State's the only decent team they played.
Undefeated still
I
means something.
think their ranking in large part is because they won the championship last year.
Well,
because if you look at their players, nobody really stands out on that
That's
team.
why everyone says the Lakers are still great. I mean,
We're bouncing around all over the place here.
Okay.
I just don't know exactly who is really going to come out of there and get you the baskets you need in tight games against great teams.
Yeah.
I just don't know. They've got obviously good players, but I just don't
all right,
see
what
it.
about Duke?
Well, we've already talked endlessly about Duke and Gonzaga. We know they're obviously inconsistent. Both Duke and Gonzaga.
Well, Gonzaga stinks.
They'll have a great game and then
Gonzaga's
a letdown.
better. Gonzaga's not as good as Duke. Clearly,
I don't think
they
we
lose
know.
to Alabama.
And
they
then
lose to
you've
Duke.
got UCLA in between. I don't think we know about these teams yet. Even when you bring back your players, individual years, teams have their own personality, and you don't really know. I mean, it's a little more predictable with Gonzaga, frankly, because they've been steady for years.
Okay.
And they don't turn their whole roster over. Now, obviously, UCLA's brought pretty much everybody back, too. But still, Gonzaga, if you look back
Gonzaga
last
didn't
year,
bring-
the year before, the year before, the year
No!
before, they've really been consistent.
They did not bring back everyone.
UCLA, I meant.
Oh, UCLA did bring back literally everyone, but Gonzaga didn't.
But I think even when you bring your players back like that, there was a uniqueness to what UCLA did last year. I don't know if they can repeat that. That could be a once in a lifetime.
You're not taking into consideration Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson's Long Beach. He's such a good. This guy's a baller.
Okay.
I'm
still
saying.
saying.
Great.
I don't think predictions so early in the year are going to be meaningful. These are all good
But
teams.
you're talking about Gonzaga. Why do you still have so much confidence in Gonzaga?
Because
you
they
like
have
it.
a long history of doing extremely
How
well
does their
into the
history
tournament.
have to do this year?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have to judge these teams on their own. I'm just saying when you look at the teams, highly ranked teams, that's one I'd have the most confidence in.
All right, we're going. All right, what about Nova? I'm not letting you finish
Nova is a team that rises to the occasion.
But
I think that
they lost to UCLA. Do you think they're
know.
better than UCLA?
I don't necessarily think they're better than UCLA, but in a rematch, I don't think UCLA should be an overwhelming favorite
Well,
either.
UCLA won by 10. So.
I'm just saying. Okay, now,
Texas.
since we're on college, well, yeah, and we can talk about it, but let's let a little more, let's let some games get played before we make our...
I agree.
Now, where there have been games played, I want to talk for a moment about Bama and Georgia. I want to move on to football because we're in college.
Mm-hmm.
You keep talking about the fact Georgia hasn't played anybody.
They have not.
Okay. I looked up who Bama and Georgia had as common opponents. Arkansas. Bama, 42-35 win for Bama. Georgia, 37-0.
Okay.
The only game similar in the four that they have in common is Tennessee. Alabama won 52-24. Georgia won 41-17. Very similar game.
Well.
Okay, now Florida. Bama wins 31-29. A nail-biter. Georgia, 34-7. A blowout. Auburn. Bama, in a miracle, pulls out an overtime 24-22 fluke win. Auburn, 34-10 blowout.
Now the Georgia game. 41-24 Alabama. Blowout.
No, I understand, but that's... Well,
on the Georgia end.
I would not,
blowout.
I would
Alabama
not
beats
call
Georgia.
that game a blowout.
It was, though. It was 41-24.
What was the score at half?
It was it 17-17? It might have been 17-17.
Yes. Or maybe Alabama, did they get a score
Or
right before half?
excuse me, 24-17 Alabama.
Because Alabama right at the end got a score. But anyway, it was obviously a very close first half. Anyway.
We're going this route, aren't we? It was a very close first half. Okay, and then they get blown out in the second half.
No, here's my point. Is I think you can overreact. If Alabama ends up playing Georgia again in the final and wins comfortably, I will take all this back. But right now, I don't think you can say with any confidence Alabama is way better than Georgia.
No, but Georgia is just simply, they don't have a great quarterback.
I think
and their defense did nothing against Alabama. Did nothing.
Yes, but did they just have a terrible game and they'll bounce back? Kind of like Alabama loses to Texas A&M. Kind of like Alabama barely gets by Auburn. Probably shouldn't have. Is that just a fluke? I think we're going to know a lot more when we see how Georgia does against Michigan.
I don't think you understand what a fluke is. A fluke is when it's a last-second field goal. This was no fluke. It was a 17-point game. Second half dominated by Alabama. First half also won by Alabama.
I'm just raising the question. Based on the performance of the teams against the same opponents. So we're going to see more, but I think that's an interesting point.
Interesting.
And I think we shouldn't overlook Georgia.
That's an interesting take.
Okay.
All right.
Can we move on
It's an interesting...
to the NBA?
I'm calling it an interesting take. That's what I'm giving it.
Okay. Can we move on to the NBA?
Yes. Lakers versus Celtics. Lakers win big, 119-105.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, there's a lot of talk about the Lakers today because finally the Lakers got something out of their three stars.
This is a big overreaction.
Well,
it's one game.
Yeah, it probably is an overreaction, but it's the first time their big three have actually each done something.
You know what I'm thinking? You know what I don't think anyone's thinking about?
What's that?
Celtics had Jaylen Brown on the bench in street clothes.
No, that people are thinking
Tatum
about that. The question
was alone out there.
The question.
No one else does anything. Schroeder's does nothing. Where was the help for Tatum?
Honestly,
there wasn't.
The Celtics just aren't very good.
Well, then how is this such a big win?
Well, I'm just saying that it's the first time that the big three have put something together. Now, there's also talk that as much as LeBron has always been the key to any team he's been on,
Are you talking about
the key to this team should be Anthony Davis.
What about Horton Tucker? This guy is a good.
THT?
THT.
I love
Tyron Horton
THT.
Tucker.
You know, THT's only 21 years old.
No, I know.
In fact, I think he just turned 21.
No, I know. No,
he's got
he's
ability.
got potential, and
I like him.
He looked good last year, and he's looking even better this year.
But they really, mostly they're a bunch of old guys on the Lakers. You know, they've got THT and they've got
All-Star team from 2007.
What?
It's an All-Star team from 2009.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's amazing? When you look at LeBron, Carmelo, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's the youngest of those three guys. And he's ancient, at least by basketball standards. But the big three, you know, they're going to be something to reckon with. But I would like to suggest a different big three. The team that still is not getting as much credit as they deserve. It's the Bucks. I don't see how people are missing. They finally got Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday together. They've got a big three.
J-Day is good.
Which big three would you rather have? I think it's very questionable.
J-Day, Giannis, and Middleton. They're younger, and they look
They're
like
a little younger,
better.
But the thing is,
no, but they work together better. You could say that Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis are the all-around better big three than that team, but they don't work together like this Milwaukee big three does.
And also, think about the Lakers in crunch time. They have to go to LeBron.
Yeah.
Because nobody has confidence.
As they can go in Middleton.
Yes.
Holiday.
Yes. If you remember those finals, Holiday was a big factor in those finals.
And honestly,
Middleton
and Holiday's also a
had
great defender.
ice in his veins.
Holiday's also a great defender.
And I also think Giannis is just...
But Westbrook also can't shoot to save his life. He threw one up there that he just threw as hard as he could against the backboard, it looked like.
Oh, you know, if you could flip this around. If LeBron was 27 instead of being... He's going to turn 37 in just a very short time. If he was 27, you'd go with the Lakers in that combo. But he's not. He's 37, or he's going to be 37 soon. And he's not the same LeBron.
No, he's not.
I don't care whether there's flashes of stuff. You know, he's going to get hurt again. He gets hurt now every year, multiple times. He was hurt in the playoffs last year. He's very likely to be hurt. Giannis is a man on a mission. And as much as, you know, the talk this year, well, the talk today was Lakers, but the talk this year has really been Warriors.
What about Portis?
Warriors and Suns.
What about Portis? Portis is also a good piece. But actually, you're right. We got to go to, let's talk about
but I agree with you. Bobby Portis
he shoots was
a very good addition.
Yeah,
he's a big man.
He was good. He was important last year.
He actually does everything well.
No, I know.
He shoots, he rebounds. He does everything.
All right, Suns Warriors.
Oh, you know who also is coming on is Grayson. Grayson
Allen.
Do you remember how everywhere
we gotta
they
get
went?
on to our next
please,
subject.
just let me do this one thing. Do you remember how when he was on Duke,
yes,
the opposing teams just went after him viciously, and he kind of brought it on himself, but still, they were brutalizing him, and he's actually doing well.
No,
do you know he's shooting?
I am aware. 42% on threes.
He's shooting at the Steph level on threes.
I know. Okay.
Anyway.
Blazers, Warriors tonight.
Blazers, Warriors. I don't care about this game because the Blazers don't. Their whole backcourt is out.
What about Dame?
Well, I think, you know,
Wait, excuse me? What did you say?
Their whole backcourt is out.
Lillard's out tonight?
McCollum and Dame is both
out. They're both out?
They're both out.
I did not get that info yet.
This game isn't going to be a serious game. If it's not a blowout, it's only because the Warriors aren't taking it seriously. So it's not the game. What tonight is all about is the number 16. It's all about the number 16. It's never been done before, but can Steph somehow find a way to hit 16 threes? If he does, he's the all-time three leader. And while that seems absurd because he's never had more than 13, in this magical career of shooting the long ball, there is serious talk, can he get this done?
No, but I'm sure Steph has heard the talk, and they're going to be feeding him tonight. All right, how about the Suns?
Well, the Suns are doing amazing.
Yeah, 19-1.
Yeah. But
Booker,
I don't
Hammy.
mean to bounce around. Yeah, they're 19-1. That's
I know.
an all-time streak.
Okay,
but what also isn't talked about, we overlooked it when we were talking Bucks. Bucks are 9-0.
I know. Okay.
And Suns.
Are you through?
How is this hammy gonna
Are
do?
you through?
How is Booker's hammy gonna do? Sometimes those hammy injuries keep coming back. If the Suns are gonna compete with the Warriors, they got to have every man at his best. Because
so do the Warriors to compete with the Suns.
But the Warriors are going to have Clay back. Everybody that's seen him play says he looks amazing. His shooting is on. His overall play is on. He looks in shape. When they get Clay back, it is going to make it easier for Steph.
Yes.
Because the teams can't be quite as focused on Steph when you've got a guy that shoots like Clay on there.
All right,
so I think the Warriors are special, but what I really think is going to be fun is and the problem also, though, if this does turn into a blowout, is Steve Kerr going to let Steph play minutes?
Okay, yes.
That's questionable.
That's questionable.
I think Steve Kerr sometimes goes with the moment, but I don't know if he will tonight or not.
All right,
What if Steph gets hot, he gets 12 in the first 2.5 quarters? What happens? We'll see.
Well, thank you for watching Sports Right Now. We're saying so long from our studios. Goodbye from Boots and Poops from Sports Right Now. Sports Right Now.